things have gotten so out of hand around here that I have had to come up with some decisions, and those decisions are that I'm going to get the TR4 running, even though she might be a mite loud, and I have to think about where all of these go. They're covered with sawdust, and I got to get my Rimmer Brothers stuff out of here. Well, it happens when you do woodworking, and I know this isn't the best environment for that, but I clean everything off before I put it in. So in order to get this tractor out of here and not tow this car around anymore, I'm going to put it together. Now, I'm only going to put it together to the point where I only put the exhaust and intake manifold and carburetors on it and all, so I can get it running. Now, she's going to be a mite loud, might be a little noise alert going on here, but I want to finish the exhaust system on the lift, and on the lift is the Spitfire, so I'm stuck on that waiting on parts. So let's go through here. Now, this is going to be TR4A. I'm not sending that back to them. Let's just see. I think that's for hangers. That's what I'm looking for right there. And that's definitely hangers. That's going to be for the oh, what is this thing? Oh, that's where that piece of paper was. And bolts, and so the rubber thing. So all I need out of here is these. I got to make sure these fit. Those look like coarse thread. And so let's just let's get this car going so I can move it around with noise abatement on. I'll move stuff around because I need this tractor out of here. So I know it's going to be noisy, but I ain't pushing it or pulling it or dragging it or worrying about it hitting the tractor or anything else. I can actually just drive it around, and that's what we want to do. So let's see if these fit. So what I've done here is I've taken my intake manifold and I have sanded it on the floor and got it flat and tested it. I dipped the Rimmer Brothers manifold in here, and it's very flat. I'm digging that, and so good. So I left those two studs in there, which is nice. And I'll mention something else in a minute too. So let's just make sure everything passes, and it doesn't. You loathsome bastards. So what's going on here is the intake manifold is hitting right there. So we will be doing grinding. I had a bad feeling about that. So it ain't gonna be too bad, but it's got to be even. So this is too much right here, 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 and here. Why can't you get anything anymore that just works? It's I don't know how people do it. There's the old manifolds of gaskets anyway. So I clean everything pretty good, and even if a little wood pulp got in there, I ain't too scared of it. I didn't think I was going to be here this long, but looks like I will be, so I'll put your fender cover on. That's pretty flat, so I'll have to, it's just, I mean, and it's not good either. I mean, it's millimeters. That one ain't too, I'm going to have to mark these, so that one may even go. So let's get, I guess that'll show up as good as anything. And I'm just going to put like a little mark right here, and I'm going to put a thick mark right there because that's going to have to come off quite a bit. All right. And on this side, I can't get it on the stud even, so it's about the same on both sides. So I'm going to just mark them anyway. That's just kind of what I do. I remembered that I don't remember how I did this, so yeah, I have one marked the ignition light. I don't know if it goes, there's 3 there, so we'll find out soon enough, won't we? Alright, let's take that out. Here, let me show you what it's like getting it out of there. You got to kind of have this area clear. It's not terrible, but you do have to come up and over here. Oh, it's always hard to do this stuff one-handed, but this can be done. Now, I was thinking when I was doing this, see how that worked? Well, actually, you didn't see how it worked, but I'm hooked rather substantially over there now. Now, you probably don't have a power booster box right there, and I would say if you had a generator, you're in for a little bit more trouble. As you can tell, I got the reduction starter, but you got to kind of clear over here, and so I'd imagine if I had a generator, I'd be in big trouble. So let's grind her off some. Damn it. So let me give you the long short of it here. This is how it's going to go. Okay, I got that going. So yeah, that's in there. It took me about 30 minutes to fit that precisely. So you order it from Rimmer Brothers in England, if that's where it is. It could be here, but if it's in overseas, let's say it is in England, it will be 5 days before they pack it. And they say you'll have it in 4 days or something like that, but that ain't true. It'll be another 5 days, maybe, before it gets to wherever hub that's closest to you. You will be charged another at least $75 that you weren't told about because of duties. Yeah, oh yeah, you got your duty before God and country, so you got to cough up another 75 bones. And then I waited 20-something days for it to get here. And then I got my credit card bill Saturday, and they bless you with a $30 fee because it was international. So anything, I didn't know that. So it cost me like another $110 over whatever the cost was and all the other stuff just to have the pleasure of having to grind this for 30 minutes to make it fit. So the other thing you don't get is the little dimples that you see here to hold your dog bones. Yeah, I don't see that as being a great big deal, but you think they'd have they probably wouldn't have put them in the right place anyway. So I've got it sitting flat now. So now I've got to figure out, which studs go where, and I got to drill those out to get the studs to go through there with ease. And so let's set this up and get this going. It ain't gonna be so long once I get this going, and I'm not gonna be able to do this long. It has got to be 85, 90 degrees out here, and there's a little bit of a breeze, but I can't hardly take it. Between that and hay fever. You know how it is. I go off on tangents. I got this this weekend, and this is Moss Motoring talking about 60th anniversary of the Jaguar. And boy, these pictures are always helpful. They, man, it makes you want to go get some white walls for it on it. So this is going to be a little bit of an off thing. So, of course, you can obviously see that's a right-hand drive car. They're designed to be that way because you can tell by the firewall that they're simpler, and it's just far linkages are changed. You know how it is. It's a pain in the tail. But the thing that I gleaned from this is the air filter can. You see how it's sort of that off silver thing, and I noticed that the coil doesn't have a red top like mine did. I'm pretty sure. I think this is an earlier car. My car's a '67 S1. This could be several years before that, and so maybe things were a little different. And this car doesn't have white walls, and then those do. Very fascinating. But I guess it's like anybody else, they use what they want. But that can right there is what got me. So I'm going to keep hold of that. So, of course, I went and took my can, and as you might remember, it was black, and I powder coated it this kind of a silvery color. I didn't want to get too bodacious with it, and so there that is. I think that'll look better. I'm okay with that, and so it took a while cleaning it and doing it, but I think that's going to be better. So I like that better. I hammered out a couple of little places here, and so that dent that was there is long gone. So just a little side note, you know, sometimes when you get literature, you know, there that is, and I cleaned it out real good, and so I'll tell you something else too. I'm going to put it back together right now. Already the air filter that I put in a week ago was stuck. I put it in here to keep it clean. Was stuck. So I put Seal Glide on it, and it's still stuck. Where did it pull off? It pulled off a little hunk right there. So it'll be okay. I mean, it's nothing big. I just don't want to get that going. We're going to get back to the Spitfire here soon. So I'm going to put that right there because I know that's clean. And get Seal Glide, put this together, and put it back in the car and get it out of harm's way. But I think that looks better. I'm okay with all of that. And yeah, there were some, I really didn't notice it so much, but there was a pretty good dent right there, and I sort of just beat it out a little bit. It's so far down, you're not going to notice it anyway. It's just going to notice that it's a better color than the black. So that's going to lead to the other thing. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and a lot of people, you know, when they come here and they see me do things, they say, you know, you don't seem too concerned about where the hardware goes. I said, I'm very concerned about where hardware goes when I take cars apart. But the one thing that I'm aware of is that other people aren't, way before me. So it's like drum brakes. You know, you take one side apart, you leave the other side together. I've done that before, and both sides can be different because somebody did one side or messed up one side. And this is why I just basically lay hardware out and once I take something apart. And I put it in little categories. I know what some stuff is. And but I don't go to any great lengths to really, unless it's something highly unusual, mark my hardware, because it's not going to, you know, somebody else has messed it up. And so I just don't worry too much about it. I think about it and look at it and try to remember a little bit. Oh, Seal Glide. And but don't, you know, worry about it, but don't trust anything. Get your service manuals and make sure that you follow those best as you can, especially when it comes to brakes. So just remember that. Let's get back to the TR4 at hand. Let me get this hat off. Boy, I went inside and turned the air conditioning way down and put my clothes in front of it and walked around naked for a while. I feel a lot better. Nothing like walking around naked makes you feel better in a big air conditioning house when it's, what is it today? Yeah, see, it's 88. It's heading toward 90. And got my drink and everything. I'm in pretty good shape. So I got my 3M8001 and put that rubber seal back on there. Just lay it in the bead and then shake it around, and then it'll be fine. At least it'll hold it in place to a certain degree. Oh, come on, baby. There you go. Oops. Here, let's put it right here. Banging everybody around here. So there is that. And the neat thing is now it matches the manifold thing. So I'm not going to put that on there yet because this isn't cured out. But you just lay a bead and then put it in and then stir it around, and that's about the best you can hope for. So they kind of match. I'm kind of digging that. So I've got these soaked, 2 coats of copper on each side. I got my carbide scraper and scraped around there. So let's fit these on there. and then we'll fit our other studs and whatnot. I need some blue Loctites. So let's go in here like we mean it. Once again, another good reason to leave these on or put them back in with some blue Loctite so you can have everything holding everything. So let's fit this on, and that's all been cleaned and wiped with brake clean and whatnot. So everything is looking good. So now that goes like that. Okay, and now that's been blown out. I've blown that out a couple of times. And so, okay, and that goes like that. Okay, so there we go. Let's, this is test fitting and playing around now, because some of these two big dogs, or dog bones or whatever, you know, they're different thicknesses. This is kind of a dangerous way to do it, but that's the way I do it. So we're going to do it that way. Might want to find some, let's see. Might want to find some better thickness. If I could find 2 of those, I'd be happier. Let's see. Now that one fouled. Let's see if what I've got there. I don't think that's going to work here. I didn't measure the thickness between this and the old header, and the old header's way long gone. But I had a feeling, you can kind of tell by looking that they're going to be rocking a little bit. This is thicker than this. So we'll see what kind of hell that gives me, because these will only cock so far. These are 3/8 studs, I think. And if you put them in there, they will move around, but you don't have a lot of grace on that. So I may be doing just like I did on Spitfire. When you got this kind of arrangement, sometimes you got to make little spacers. So we'll see how this works out here. It's those ones on the bottom that get you every doggone time. But it's easier with this kind of header than the original type, as I remember, because it's in the way you can actually get a 9/16. I think those are 9/16. Let's see, got it right. Oh no, it's out somewhere. I must have been using it over here. Yes. I found it. You know, it's nice to have tools laying around everywhere, but sometimes you do take a bite sometime. You don't know where stuff is, but I'm not too spread out, too thin here. I'm going to try to be as complete about this as possible. These things have a front and a back. That is the flat side that goes toward the head, okay? So, I mean, it would work either way, but this is the way you want to do her, okay? These do have a top and a bottomus, or front and a back. You won't believe it, but I hit a snag. I knew it was coming. I had a feeling it was coming anyway. Now down here, those big wings down there don't really, they matter, and put them close as you can to what you think is right, but the bottom part of the exhaust manifold is just it's just gonna hold it on there. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. That one is just not that big a deal. Those two that I thought were the hardest are now going to be the easiest, and so nothing's tight yet. But you see, the problem here is that gap here. So there is, well, what do you reckon? Enough of a gap to be a problem. So I'm going to kind of tighten up what I can, get everything flat, measure that gap. I'll have to make some spacers. Well, what do you know? The world of headers. Nuts. Well, that's what I ended up using. That's probably the best thing in a situation like this. These have the little bubbles on them, the little metal bubbles, and I just got some nuts and put in there. That ought to be just fine. At least it's even. And you know what the torque values are here, so I'm not going to go into that. Do not over torque these. If you're around some of my old friends, tell them don't do that. Don't over torque. So I got to give this, I've had worse. Of course, I'm not under it yet, but I've had worse up here, but not by much. I mean, you know, I guess it's a matter of knowing how to deal with it. So I got all these brass nuts in the right way. I'd say that spacing is off 3 millimeters, pretty long distance. But as long as these are even, and some of these have a flat edge. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't remember if that's factory, but the flat edge would go toward the pipe here. So torque those down to your appropriate values, and let's see about hooking everything else up. And see, there's one right there. Here you go. When you need 4 of these in a situation like this, you better bring about 10 or 12 over. So it's a little nut like that, just out of my stock machine stuff. And there's 4 or 5 under the car right now too. Let's be honest about this thing now. Okay, so 1, and do this a couple times because that gasket will crush on you. See, there you go. 2, 3, 4. Ooh. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, and as we know, if you start to blow an exhaust gasket, you don't have long. They go real quick. So you want to make sure and do this as the best you possibly can, as even as you can. Let it set for a few minutes and go around one more time, and then we're going on with carburetors. Alright, so it's your square gasket, looks like this. Grease it up, put it there, and then your insulator block goes on there next, and they go on there like this actually, and then get you know, I grease these up every single time, and it just makes them feel better. I don't know if it really matters that much, but to me it does. A little extra sealing there can't hurt. Inventing different kinds of sealing wax. So that goes on there like this. Okay? Alright. So you got your square, your insulator that's put on like a woman's figure, and then that like a woman's figure. Here we are. Make sure your choke is all the way in, because you'll be hooking that up in a minute. And put that back on there. And then put that stuff back there. And I got her to this far. I'll probably go ahead and put the air cleaners on it. I mean, they ain't hard to do, and might as well do her. So, of course, you took these off and set them up right, didn't you? Okay, good for you. Put a new filter on, didn't you? Okay, good. Tightened up your throttle. Tightened up your valve cover. Tighten these up. This is the old-style choke, which if you're not careful, you'll pull out and it'll break or slip, and you'll punch your girlfriend right in the kisser like a leg of lamb right in the mouth. And I always back that up with another. It goes through here and clamps. The outer body clamps on this member, and then I clamp it there, and then I get an extra jed clamp it right there, and sort of make sure, because these chokes aren't like the ones that came out a year or two later, and those are blessed. I mean, I love them so. But I've got these. These were just in boxes when I got them. I'm very proud of these. And let me get back out a little bit. And so let's put the air cleaners on it. And like I say, it won't take a second. Let's do that. And then I imagine in a set or two, I'll be scraping all this mess out of here and putting all the other little rubber bits on, and we will see if she cranks. Not going to move her. I just want to see if she cranks. I want to get her oil pressure up, get her going, and all that stuff. So, I know it looks kind of funny, but you ain't got one that looks like that, do you? Probably don't want one that looks like that, but I like it. Okay, we're all set. This is I found this old note stuffed over here, and at least on my vehicle. That's some of the numbers. All my tools are over here. I don't like starting these with the bonnet up. I don't know why. I never have. Make sure your tools are out of there. Don't ever put your hand on that unless you're putting fluid in it. Make sure your little holes are facing up. I've seen people put them in backwards and don't breathe right. Make sure that these are okay. And you should have a couple of millimeters above that before you hit. Put all your breathing apparatus on and pipe it to where it needs to go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, gotta let it drip down sometime. Make sure your caps are tight. These are tight. Everything is as it should be. And I guess I'll just take you on in. That's using your head, huh? And, okay, keys are over there. I clean it. It just don't do any good. Bird's one, Bobby nothing. Maybe the birds are related to Leanne. I don't know. Oop, there went my keys. Oh, this is not how you do this. Okay, there you go. Oh, well, we did forget one minor thing, so let me hook the battery up. I guess you can just stick with me. We forgot another thing. We're going to need these. This is more important than the other thing. All right. I had it. There it is right there. They're generally 13 or half, or on modern cars they're 10. This is not a modern car. Okay? Only car I got that doesn't spark when you hook it up is the Healy, because there ain't no radio in it. Okay? So we're going to put this somewhere to remind me to disconnect the battery. Okay, my keys didn't fall down somewhere horrible, did they? Yeah, they did. They did fall down somewhere horrible down in there. So yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm curious to see what it's gonna sound like. Now, I'm not going to noise abate you, so this is a true noise alert. Okay, this is no kidding around. And I just want ow. All right. I guess I'm going to have to go get me a bunch of car covers, but that can cause your paint to bubble sometimes. And that's, I don't know, birds or bubbles. I don't know. If I ever get a pet bird, I'll call it Bubbles. Okay, I'm going off. Let's do that. Okay, well, let's, wish I turned the radio off. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to put these on, but don't worry, I can control my voice. Because you know how it is, people yell when they got headphones on. Okay, I got an SU pump in this. So make sure we're out of gear. And we weren't out of gear. Okay, you ready? Well, boy, it's going to be loud. I'm not going to try to crank. You don't pump this one. This ain't that kind of carburetor. Mixture control, not choke. Well, I can hear it already. Let's get some oil pressure. I was looking through my pile of British stuff and ignition parts, and I remembered something kind of funny. See these identical side entry caps with the screws underneath them and all? Well, these are not identical. I had forgotten this MGA or something I had. See, that's a TR4, and that's an MGA or some other magnet or whatever. See how the entry, well, it's over here now. I put it over here because I was doing something else. See how the entry would be coming out the front? See, on a TR4, you want that to go like this. See, that thing, the backside will tell you better. See? They're not the same. So don't confuse these and carry one of these with you thinking that that's a backup. Just I don't know how many other people would ever run into this, but these are two very different caps. So don't let that happen to you. And let's see, you can tell there and there. So this is the one we want for today. Now, if I was smart, I would get some white out and put, not TR4 or something on there. I took this as a fabulous opportunity to retorque the heads, double check everything. I adjusted the valves. A couple of them were tight. Kind of surprised by that. And I'm going to kind of refill. Going to redo the seal on it. It didn't leak there. I think I found a leak down there. Double check, go to top dead center. Let me tell you a story. You pull that out, you better be real confident that that little itty tiny Woodruff key is going to stay there. Okay, just you better be sure. If you lose that or if you mess it up, you won't have any oil pressure. So I was messing around last night reading my Robert Bentley book I got from Viking Import a long time ago. I only paid $17.50 for this thing, and I studied that thing all the time. And this book calls for Lodge CNY plugs. Now, Chef Tush and I have talked about this, and I've talked about it with other people. And I know Chef Tush made those cabbage rolls, but we have to forgive him for that. Okay, if you insist. So anyway, they get all this stuff together, but you'll find that the Lodge CNY does not compute to a Champion L87Y. Where that went wrong, I don't know, but measure your depth, because you want to run N9YCs. L87Ys are this much reach, and just trust me on this. There they are right there. You know what a spark plug looks like. The reach is really this. It's not 1/2 of that. But measure your reach. Make sure that you're good there. So, but I'm just checking everything. I'm checking the play. I'm getting my feeler gauge, and I've got my stuff. The distributor pedestal is in the Unisonic cleaner, ultrasonic Unisonic. And where'd that come from? So, in this book, if you get I don't know if there's any reprints of it, but if you go into your Robert Bentley manual, I don't know, I was talking about I was going to put an exhaust system in, and it ended up on this huge tangent. Go to this page 1-131. Read this and understand this carefully, because you find that you're off a gear one way or the other. This is not a TR4. You can tell by the distributor cap. See, it's not a side entry. So anyway, not too many faults in that book. So what, a picture here and there. So there's everything going here. I'm just about ready to go get that thing out of the ultrasonic and put this all back together again. Look how clean that is. So let me put, and I tell you what I do. I use whiteout to go where I've been. And if you just dab it, you don't have to worry about it getting caught in anything. You can wipe it off and just make sure you get it off your valves that you marked. I don't always do that, but this thing's kind of special to me. God, I wish I'd have painted that thing. I regret that every time I look at it. So, backup fuel pump, don't take that to heart. Just a little insurance policy. Okay, well, let's see. Where in the world would I have gotten a WVOC? The Voice of Columbia. Oh. I'll be dogged. Some kind of golf classic down there, some nondescript character.